So on Saturday night, with absolutely no notice, our Prime Minister here decided to put the region of London and 16 million Britons into a Tier 4 lockdown. What is Tier 4, you say? Well, that's what we all asked ourselves because we had never heard of this concept of Tier 4. And we had been told 3 days earlier by this same man that canceling Christmas would be quote-unquote inhuman. He said that in the House of Commons. And then at one of those last-minute Saturday night news conferences that we've grown tragically so used to in this country, he decided to defy his own Department of Health, from what I've been told on the inside, and lock the entire region down. His own Department of Health told him this is probably going to increase transmissions, as we saw hordes of people running to the train stations to try to get out of a region that was going to be locked down maybe for a month, maybe for 2 months, maybe for 3 months. At the same time, while they do this, they signal to the world there's a new strain of virus. And I don't think they thought very much about this, because this whole decision was based on the SAGE group, which is not really full of scientists. It's really full of behavioral scientists. And now, on the back of that knee-jerk reaction, this comedy of errors we've seen so many times before, France decided to shut down the border to keep this new strain from infecting the world. So again, our government, which we've grown to just trust, throughout our childhoods and going into adulthood, that they just know what the right thing to do. They wear their suits, they went to good schools, they come from these big parties. They obviously must know what they're doing. They can't be totally incompetent. And yet the truth is they are. They really are. And our current Prime Minister is bumbling. And the problem is it's costing lives. Not only in the fact of what's happening now with people not getting access to the NHS, there are children starving here in London. UNICEF is now feeding poor children in London. You heard me right. UNICEF is usually the organization that goes into third world countries, places like Africa, to feed starving children. They're now feeding starving children in Southwark, a borough just south of the river here. This is what happens when you have incompetent leadership and people that are caught up in strange agendas associated with political parties. And honestly, that all needs to change. We need some independent leadership. We need a concept where the best idea wins, where we actually listen to the science as opposed to the policy going and hunting down the data that fits some strange policy. And I feel for everybody that's out there who is just frustrated, who doesn't buy into what this is happening. Trevor Kavanaugh from The Sun wrote an article today that said they've cried wolf too many times. And it's true. Nobody buys into these measures. There were police officers right here at Old Street Tube Station when I came in this morning on the tube. Police officers, I think, to try to impose a presence in case I was thinking about leaving town and breaking the travel restrictions of Tier 4. This is what this has come to. And it's absolutely ridiculous and nonsensical. And yet we've been trained like Pavlovian dogs to jump when they say how high, and they throw a bunch of case numbers in our face. And we're supposed to use that as a number to change our entire lives on. And it's just not true. But we've slowly bought into all these narratives over the past 9 months. And now they are literally yanking our chain like animals. And I just need to call this out. The problem is that all of the leaders seem to be marching in lockstep to this narrative that has been conjured out of thin air. Someone's got to stand up in the room and yell at the top of their lungs, wake up. Everybody needs to wake up. And that's what we need to do right now. So obviously, I think we need new leadership. We need new ideas. We need to take London in a new direction. We need to use a science-based decision-making process. I know that sounds strange. We need a proportionate response to the virus. Protect those that are vulnerable, allow everyone else to get on with their lives, and create all of these resources that allow us to have great healthcare, great technology, great education for our children. This stuff doesn't come out of thin air. I can point you countries in this world that don't have these resources. They are not in the G7, they're not in the G20. And it's because they are not working in the way that we work in a city like London. And we need real leadership. We need leaders that can take responsibility for their actions and make a call, not be constantly worried about the latest scientist, the latest article, the latest narrative that might not get them elected. They need to think long term. And that's why I'm putting my ideas out there. So please leave your comments below. Are you frustrated with this bumbling process from our leadership? Are you frustrated with this Tier 4 lockdown? Do you believe this could last months or years? I know that sounds crazy, but who's to say we won't be in this situation in Christmas 2021, in Christmas 2022, in Christmas 2023, unless we get some real leadership? Leave me your comments below. Let's take London in a new direction, shall we? Let's make this city world-class once again. That's what I want to do. Thank you.